Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. The January 6th committee issues criminal referrals against Donald Trump. Mike Pence disagrees with that. Drug overdoses in Oregon hit an all-time high. Weather experts rank the snowiest cities in the nation. Also ahead, how much do you know or care about Jesus? But first, the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot, sending 4 criminal referrals against Donald Trump to the Justice Department. Charges include obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to make false statements, and insurrection. The Democrat-controlled committee releasing the following statement. The evidence leads to one overwhelming conclusion. The central cause of January 6th was one man, Donald Trump. Now, many believe the conclusion by the House committee was preordained. Former Vice President Pence is one of those. The VP was asked about impending charges against Trump during an interview. Said Pence, quote, "When it comes to the Justice Department's decision about bringing charges in the future, I would hope they would not bring charges against the former president. I think the president's actions and words on January 6th were reckless, but I don't know that it is criminal to take bad advice from lawyers," unquote. Drug overdoses in Oregon hitting a record high. The state decriminalized hard drugs, including heroin and cocaine, 2 years ago. Maximum fine for possession of hard narcotics, $100. Since legalization, overdose deaths are up 25%. Oregon has the highest addiction rate in the country. Health experts believe 1 in 10 people in the Northwest are addicted to drugs or alcohol. New survey from the Fox Weather Channel ranks the snowiest cities in the country. The experts study climate data from the last 3 decades. Top 5, Anchorage, Alaska, Erie, Pennsylvania, Flagstaff, Arizona, Boulder, Colorado, and the number 1 snowiest city, Syracuse, New York. The small town near Lake Ontario typically sees 130 inches of snow a year. That's 11 feet. In a moment. As Christmas approaches, how much do you know about Jesus the Nazarene? Right back with that. By now, you may have received a record high heating bill. Prices of heating your home will only go up from here. If you are looking for ways to save money this winter, now you can with the Eden Pure Gen 40 heater. Now, I've got my Gen 40 and I move it around the house, and it's made a big difference keeping my rooms warm. This infrared heater guaranteed to start saving you money on your heating bill as soon as you turn it on. Plus, Gen 40 heater owners are reporting massive savings on heating bills, and it is super safe around pets and kids with their multiple safety features. It is no surprise that they are having a hard time keeping the Gen 40 in stock. So don't wait. Right now, you can get $50 off the sale price. Use discount code BILL50. Please go to EdenPureDeals.com. Put in discount code BILL50 to get your $50 off. That's EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code BILL50 for the discount. Shipping is free. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. 5 days till Christmas. The celebration of the birth of Jesus in Bethlehem. Some historical facts. 5 BC, Jesus was born. 4 BC, Jesus, Mary, Joseph traveled west to avoid persecution from King Herod, and then eventually returned to Israel. 8 AD, Jesus visits the temple in Jerusalem as a boy. 25 AD, Jesus is baptized by John the Baptist and begins his ministry. 26 AD, Jesus gains a major following for some reason which we will discuss. 27 AD, Jesus delivers his Sermon on the Mount. 28 AD, Jesus returns to Jerusalem with his disciples where he is crucified by the Romans as an insurrectionist. Now, you may remember that I wrote a book called Killing Jesus, A History of the Nazarene. No religion in the book. We did not use the word Christ because that means Redeemer. And I did not want any religious connotations in Killing Jesus. Well, our research took us to Israel, where the government opened its historical files on that period of time, which were a tremendous help. And then we went to Italy in the archives there to get the Roman records of what happened to Jesus as the Romans were occupying Palestine, that's what it was called then, and kept meticulous records. That's Pontius Pilate, the scourging, the crucifixion, all of that. Now, the number one thing that I found out, as not only an author historian, but as a human being, is that Jesus of Nazareth was doing something that began to attract thousands of people to hear and see him, only they could not hear him because there were no microphones. So he would stand on a hill or in a boat in the middle of a body of water, and he would preach, but very, very few people could actually hear him. Still, they kept on coming. Now, in Killing Jesus, we don't have any miracles. How could we? They have to be documented by physicians, and there is no record of that. However, the Roman and Jewish spies, which were following Jesus around, because both the Sanhedrin in Jerusalem, the Jewish authorities, and Pilate to some extent, were worried about these big crowds. Those spies reported miraculous hearings. And that's where the miracles in the New Testament come from. So bottom line on Jesus of Nazareth, and that is why we celebrate Christmas, is that he, a poor stonecutter, became the most famous person who ever lived. Think about it. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. In a moment, something you might not know. There is a concerted effort to intimidate and silence conservative thinkers, rewrite American history, and replace our God-given individual liberty with big government controls. The very freedoms secured by our Constitution are now being threatened by the most liberal leftists our nation has ever seen. They have failed to secure our borders, weakened our position on the global stage, are trying to indoctrinate and corrupt our children in school, and the list goes on and on. But there are plenty of patriots with the courage to stand up to the far left. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in the USA. I am a member, and I hope you will join as well. AMAC members have access to money-saving benefits, a robust website and mobile app, and a magazine filled with all kinds of great content. So please join AMAC today at amac.us and tell them O'Reilly sent you. That's amac.us. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. At the height of the American Revolution, a patriot general led a surprise attack against thousands of mercenaries stationed in New Jersey. The audacious operation turned the war in favor of the Continental Army. Here is the story of George Washington's Christmas assault. After months of heavy losses to the British, the Americans had lost control of most strategic points along the East Coast, including New York City and the surrounding area. On Christmas night, 1776, Washington quietly crossed the frozen Delaware River with 5,500 troops. Their target, a battalion of German soldiers in Trenton, New Jersey, who were fighting for the British. Volunteers from Philadelphia and New England helped guide the American troops through the treacherous rapids. half of Washington's forces, including artillery and other heavy weapons, did not make it. They couldn't get through the icy waters. But Washington decided to forge ahead with just 2,000 men. At 8 a.m., the morning of December 26th, colonial forces reached the outskirts of Trenton and attacked the unsuspecting Hessians. The Germans were hung over from Christmas festivities and underestimated the Patriot threat. Washington's men quickly overwhelmed their defenses, and 90 minutes later, Trenton surrendered. 1,000 Germans were captured, just 4 Americans died during the attack. The victory was not significant from a strategic point of view, but news of the skirmish raised the spirits of the colonists, who previously feared that the Continental Army was incapable of defeating the English forces. By moving ahead with his bold plan, Washington reignited the cause of freedom and gave new hope to the revolution. And here's something else you might not know. The British were actually tipped off before Washington's attack. A group of spies and American deserters informed the Germans of the Patriot plan 2 days before, on Christmas Eve. But the mercenaries never believed that George Washington, a devout Christian, would attack on Christmas. Back after this. Inflation at its highest level in 40 years and interest rates are skyrocketing, as you know. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, predicting recession. So to protect your future, do what I did. Call the only precious metal dealers I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. You can get started with a short phone call. They will place physical gold and silver right at your door or inside your IRA or 401k. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Don't wait. You can call them now. 877-444-GOLD. 877-444-GOLD. Or text GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.